Here we go. This is the Sports Porch, Black and Gold, with your hosts, the technical director, the Grand Schwabini, and Hockey Jesus. Come on, Pittsburgh. Let's show a little Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates love. The Sports Porch Black and Gold starts now. You know, every time we play our intro video, I sing along with it. You know what I mean?
Oh, boy, what a loss. Tonight is just a heartbreak.
I just wanted to have a smile on my face as we finish out the last seconds of the Steelers.
Oh, my God.
The Sports Porch. Hey, HJ, calm it down a little bit while I do the intro here. You're watching the Sports Porch.
I'm not going to calm it down. They just blew an opportunity.
Yes, we are on YouTube right now.
3.5 games
said we would be
against the Bengals, and they bungled it.
We are also on X.
Fucking defense, I swear to God.
Maybe we shouldn't do a post-game show. Maybe we shouldn't do that if you're going to behave this way.
Well, how do you think I'm going to behave? I mean,
right,
they have the damn game won. All they have to do is stop them, and they can't even stop them, not once. They give up 20 targets to Jamar Chase.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yeah, well, you know.
Well, their defense sucked tonight, let's be honest.
It was awful.
Yeah.
Their scheme was let Jamar Chase catch the ball. That's going to be a loser every time.
It just wasn't. It wasn't very good. I mean, I'll tell you what. You know, just to bring a little bit of good feeling. Great running attack with Jaylen Warren tonight.
Yeah, Warren looked great.
Hey, Rodgers. You know, Rodgers.
Shut up, Klein. I'm not going to be professional.
Rodgers,
go to hell.
Rodgers being clutch, very nice.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, I don't know, any chance they could complete like a 20-yard pass and get a 70-yard field goal from Boz?
No.
Well,
no. They're down to 3 seconds. This is it.
This is it.
They got a Hail Mary it. Hopefully
maybe the old this could be a very viral video moment.
Hey, Rodgers is known for this.
And it won't be.
It's not. Okay.
No.
All right. Chris Chada says something that is very interesting here. Chris, thanks for being with us on YouTube. And of course, this is a Sports Porch Black and Gold edition. We're coming to you live on YouTube like we promised all day long. We are also on X. If you are on X, love for you to head over onto YouTube. Subscribe at the Sports Porch Podcast. Click the notifications button, then you'll know when we go live, which is generally every single Monday night at about 7 p.m. And listen, Chris Chada, thanks for being here. Classic trap game. That's funny because this is what I dialed up right before the show, the classic Tomlin trap game. That's exactly what it was, the classic Tomlin trap game. And let me lead into it with this because we're kind of fresh on the stats here. We'll get into that a little bit. But Tomlin almost trapped himself earlier this week when he criticized the Browns trading Flacco to the Bengals in division. You could see it in his eyes. He was worried about it because Joe Flacco is the Steeler killer. How many times has he played the Steelers over the last, 17 years of his career? Or
it's almost like he spoke it into existence.
Exactly. And then what did he do in the beginning of the game when they're looking good and they're up 10-0? He decides to get cute. They try that flea flicker. They try some weird.
No, it wasn't supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be a flea flicker. He called it off. He called it off because he knew it wasn't going to be a good call.
Okay,
Rodgers nailed that perfectly, and
we're just going to get an argument out of Steve tonight. It's just going to be an argument. What I'm trying to say is this is the classic Tomlin trap game. They went into Cincinnati. They thought they were just going to roll right over them. And Cincinnati exposed their defense, and their defense played well last week.
I'm going to disagree with you with this whole.
We want to hear your comments. We want your comments down below. Obviously, Steelers post game live, our first one of the year. Give us your comments. Tell us what you think. Go ahead, Schwab.
Look, the trap game is just a bunch of BS. I mean, the bottom line is this. Look, the Steelers wanted to win the game tonight. They came out hot. They had a 10-0 lead. So there's no trap there.
Right.
True. And look, the offense scored 31 points. The offense was not thinking about a trap.
That's true.
The defense just, look, you got two of the best receivers in the league over there and a guy who knows how to throw the football. There was no pass rush from the Steelers until there was like 2 minutes left in the game.
Right.
And they didn't get any of the splash plays. And to be honest, on a lot of them, they weren't really that close. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase especially, they were catching balls like they were wide open the whole night. And they kept on playing zone, like Steve was saying, and they never switched it up. They never said, all right, let's try man. Let's do something different. Or, let's do a double coverage on Jamar Chase. Like they were giving some help. But, half the time when you give help, the help doesn't get there.
Right.
This is true.
So I don't know.
Well, and when the safety came down and gave help, they threw it over the top to Iosofos or whatever that guy's name is, and they completed that long pass for 37 yards. So, yeah, they had their defensive scheming was 100% wrong tonight.
Yeah.
How do you have 45 targets and give 33 of those targets to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins?
Wow.
That's a ridiculous thing. Like that's the first thing you need to stop. I guess that they were going to do that, and then Brown started running all over them, and then they switched it up, to basically put 9 guys in a box and go man. But you can't go man to man against Chase. You at least have to have the safety on top of him, and their defensive. And I'm putting this on Tomlin. He's the guy who runs the defense essentially, and I think he sees Flacco and he runs to his fears. He's like, oh no, Flacco's going to beat us. There's no way we can stop him, And like you said, he's been saying it all week. And it was like he was pissed off because he got traded to the Bengals. Just go out and beat the guy. Come up with a better scheme. Like, go after the old man in the pocket. Like, I don't know where Cam Hayward was except for that one last play where him and TJ finally got a sack. But other than that one play, they were invisible almost the whole game. They've got to be able to pass rush much better than that. Highsmith completely invisible. In fact, what was he doing on that quarterback sneak by Flacco? You don't expect him to run, but you can't completely sell out there. You still got to contain. The fundamentals on this defense are whack. They got to get it back together. And Klein, I think maybe you're right about this. I had high hopes that they played so well against the Browns. Maybe the Browns offense was just that terrible. Once they play against a half-decent offense, they're not going to be good. And if that's the case, they got big problems coming up the next 2 games when they play against the Colts and the Packers, because those are 2 pretty damn good offenses.
Yeah, let me get some of these comments in right here. Eric Walker, they were getting the ball out pretty quick, though. He's talking about the offense. Thanks for being here on YouTube, buddy. Hit that subscribe button, click notifications. Chris Ayers, he's got a lot to say, and I'm sure a lot of people have a lot to say tonight, especially after a loss like that. You know what I thought was kind of funny is Kirk Herbstreit talking about basically how he's a Bengals fan, and when they were up by 6, how everybody in the stadium was hoping that the Steelers wouldn't score a touchdown. And it kind of turned the tables on us up there. Anyway, Chris Ayers, pretty embarrassing secondary. Chase broke his own record tonight, Jamar Chase. But I like this. At some point, you have to make sure that one guy doesn't beat you. Look, the defense, and I was talking with Hockey Jesus. By the way, that's Hockey Jesus over there, and that's the Grant Schwabini down there. I was talking with him during the last couple minutes of the game, and I said exactly that. I said, look, this defense didn't play great against Cleveland. Cleveland has a horrible offense. Now, Cincinnati, you would think their offensive line is not that great. Their running game was pretty much last in the league. What does that really say about the Steelers' defense right now? I think we realize our worst fears that they really are not a good defense. They've got good parts, but they're not playing together. And JPJ's handsy, and he's getting called for it all the time. I even text you guys.
Not all the time. He made a good stop on that last defense.
You're going to defend him until you die. So,
because it isn't all the time.
I don't think he's that good. I haven't thought he was that good since day one. Just like I didn't think George Pickens was going to stick around and is that good. He's really not. I'm telling you, I'm right about JPJ. Sorry.
You're wrong. You're wrong about JPJ.
Well, we'll let careers play it out. But their defense. I text you guys. I said, "Where does TJ Watt play on this team anymore?" I mean, now he looked like maybe he was a little hurt at some point.
You know what? I have to say. Now, granted, look, TJ Watt was in the game enough to make some plays, and he didn't. But I also too still just have to think about the philosophy of their freaking defense. Now, there's something to be said for rotating guys, and so guys are fresher and stuff like that. Right. It was like the second quarter, or it might have been the second time. I think it was the second time the Bengals got the ball. TJ Watt is on the sideline for the first down and the second down. What in the world is that? How can that even be possible? Well, you pay that guy that kind of money, and he shouldn't be on the field. He's been on the field for 8 plays. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know. To me, it sort of like creates this sort of feeling of there's no urgency. There's no urgency. It's just like, hey, if they get a first down, it's okay. Then TJ comes in, then we'll stop them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, you're right. I mean, TJ does take some breaks, and he needs to take some breaks. But it seems like when we need that splash play now, that the defense isn't there to make the splash play, and that's what this defense is predicated on. They have to make the splash play. When they don't, they get the ball taken down the field on them, and they only had to stop them one last time, and they couldn't do it. And it's disappointing on a defense that, is getting paid $179 million this year. And Flacco's getting paid $1 million, and he just torched them.
And it's not really even that, they had to stop him one time and they couldn't do it. It's the ease in which they went down the field.
Yeah. No, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that crossing pattern, the Jamar Chase, nobody was there watching him. I mean, what are they in a zone defense when that happens and he goes uncovered? I mean, come on, that's the most ridiculous thing you can do.
I was waiting for somebody to jump that route all night long because you could see it coming from a mile away. So, I think this defense is very suspect. Now, I was driving home from work and I heard the first series that the Bengals had the ball, and the first touchdown that was that Rodgers threw to Jonnu Smith. But when Keanu Benton sacked Flacco,
right,
I thought to myself, maybe because I was thinking about last week's game in Cleveland, maybe this is kind of his coming out party, that we've been waiting for him to do something and become a difference maker on that defensive line for a couple years now. This is year 3. It's time. But then everybody disappeared for the rest of the game. So,
right.
I don't understand that. And you're absolutely right. They don't seem to shift their coverage. They don't seem to adjust during the game very well. I will say something now. You can say all you want about how the Steelers offense scored 31 points and you should win the game. Right. That's great. Aaron Rodgers tonight. Let's talk about him real quick, because we're not just going to bitch about the Steelers defense. All right. We obviously that was a huge problem, and it's going to be. Rodgers had 4 touchdowns tonight. All of them were to tight ends. And this is what I was saying during the game. And I was kind of mirroring what Kirk Herbstreit was talking about. The Steelers aren't built to stretch the field. They have 4 tight ends on their roster. They trot out 3 tight end and 1 wide receiver sets on a regular basis. I love the idea of, at any given time, on the left side or the right side of the line, you can have 1,000 or 1,200 pounds.
Yeah, that is nice. I like that wrinkle they've added.
I like that. I think that's good. But and you guys, anybody who watches the Sports Porch on a regular basis knows I'm a Darnell Washington fan. I love Darnell Washington, but you're not going to stretch the field with him ever.
Well, and you know what the thing is, Darnell Washington can't catch a fastball.
Yeah, I don't think he
can. It's got to be like lobbed to him, nice they can catch it. You know
yeah, and you should not be running a screenplay with him either.
Right,
that's just a dumb play to call to him.
Yeah, so Mr. Tommy's back in the house. Thanks for being here, Mr. Tommy, on YouTube. And if you're watching us on YouTube, thanks a lot. Hit that subscribe button. We're trying to build our channel up to 1,000 subscribers as fast as we can. Click notifications. We're on every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We talk all things Pittsburgh sports, black and gold. And if you're watching us on X, thanks a lot. Wouldn't mind hitting the follow button there. That would be helpful. And head on over to YouTube at the Sports Porch Podcast. This is not unique to this game, says Mr. Tommy. Average points for this season, 25. Average against, 23.3. So winning and losing is a coin toss. And the consistent failure is the defense. That is a very good point. These their extra 3 receivers are Wilson, Skoranek, and Miller. They may not even make half the NFL rosters, any of them. Yeah, but this is what Arthur Smith wanted. So that's why when
that's true,
the Bengals came back and took a 10-point lead, I was texting you guys and saying this game's over. Now it turns out it wasn't quite over, but what I was talking about was how they're built. They're not built to stretch the field and come back quickly.
Well, here's another thing.
But they did tonight.
Yeah, here's another thing that I think we need to talk about with Rodgers. Granted, congratulations, accolades to him on all of his, marks that keep going up every single week. I think he passed Ben Roethlisberger for passing yards. Good for him. But the bottom line is, they win the football game tonight if he protects the ball. I mean, he threw 4 touchdowns, but he threw 2 interceptions, and the first interception is what really got the Bengals in the game.
Yep.
It really turned the momentum of the game.
Now, refresh my memory.
Are you talking about the one he threw deep and they got it on the 20-yard line?
No, the one before that. Wasn't that the second one?
The first one, the one to Metcalf, I blame on Metcalf. I don't blame that one.
I'm talking about the deep ball to Metcalf, not the one where Metcalf caught it and the guy ripped it away.
Yeah, but that was essentially a punt, Mark. I mean,
well, but it's 10-0. You go down there and you score. It's 17-0, and it's game over.
Well, I mean, so you're saying that, but Chris is saying they're not built to go down the field. They're trying to go down the field on that play. So, what do you rather them do? Just not throw it deep?
Well, no, I disagree with that. I think they can go down the field.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I mean that to me that was like, okay, so he threw in an interception, but they get the ball on the 20. I mean, if the defense can make a 3 and out there, it ain't no big deal. I didn't think that was I didn't think that was too big of a. I agree with you. Unfortunately, this offense can't turn the ball over at all. When they do, it causes problems because once the defense gets on the field, there's no sense in thinking that they can stop anybody anymore. And that's the problem. I don't think it's the interceptions. I think it's the defense.
Bono's Tecmo on YouTube says the deep ball interception was like a punt for sure. The DK INT was on DK. Rodgers did what he had to do to win tonight. I mean, look, guys, there's no way that you can fault Aaron Rodgers for this loss.
No, you can't.
Primarily, there's no way. I mean,
agree.
And it's absolutely correct. The interception to DK. I'm actually really disappointed in DK Metcalf this year, just from the standpoint of he seems to drop passes. He doesn't seem to really have a tight grip on that ball all the time. And I'm not saying he's performing poorly because before tonight he had 4 straight games with a touchdown pass. He's been a big part of their victories, but there's just not what I thought that number 1 status on the Steelers was going to be.
Well, look, he's a top wide out. Look, he's not Jamar Chase. Okay. He's not Jamar Chase. Nobody is.
Right.
And he's been huge for them. I don't think they have 4 wins if he's not on the team. Honestly,
very true. Very true.
So
yeah, I agree with that.
Overall, he's been very, very good. I mean, really, look, that ball that the guy snagged away from him. And
that was a good defensive play. Yeah,
and that was just a phenomenal defensive play that I'm sure nobody would have seen coming even if it was Jamar Chase, he might have lost that ball.
Well,
you know?
I mean, in looking at it now, just a little bit after my emotions have already come out, Jaylen Warren had a great game.
He did. I said that.
16 rushes, 127 yards. I mean, and on top of that, he had a good game, and Rodgers had a good game. You know why? Because that offensive line is starting to come together.
This is true.
It didn't seem like Rodgers only left the pocket because he had so much time. He was just trying to buy time till guys moved around and they could get open. You know, they weren't open at first, but that offensive line, I thought that was awesome. They had a great game. The defensive line had a terrible game. The secondary, terrible. So, I mean, Tomlin's got to get this defense together, and that's the thing that's pulling them down right now. That's the boat anchor. That being said, I mean, they're still a game and a half up on Cincinnati. So I mean,
well, they're in a great spot. I mean, look, the division has completely fallen apart on them. It
just sucks. You had this game ready. You had this game right in front of you. You make one defensive stop the last time they have the ball, and like you said, Mark, it wasn't even close. It wasn't like, oh man, they got them 4th down and 5. They can do this. Right, it wasn't even that. It was 1st down. They're throwing the ball 20 yards. It was 2nd down. They're throwing the ball 15 yards, and it was just too easy.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a lot of comments coming in here from YouTube. Thanks, guys. The Sports Black and Gold every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. This is our post-game show. Hit that subscribe button. Mr. Tommy says the defense is actually regressing. Average points last season was 20.4 average points against. Bo Knows Tecmo says Chase and Higgins were smiling like Cheshire cats all night long. Haven't seen them like this in years.
Right on.
What's a Cheshire cat?
The Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland, the
big smile.
I don't watch Alice in Wonderland.
What is wrong with you, man? I'll tell you what, Schwab,
I watched it when I was 5, maybe. I don't know.
Right. And your growth was severely stunted. Historically pathetic defense, Larry Peters says. You know what, Larry? I'm going to agree.
I think Larry's got the comment of the night there.
Yeah, you got it. Joe Flacco, let's talk about him. 31 of 47 for 342 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, Flacco is the Steeler killer, and the worst part of this is we had a chance to put the division away. It wouldn't have been away. 3.5 games, and those two. You think the Bengals are going to play? I don't know if they have a bye next week or not, but if they do, whatever. You think they're going to play like this next week? I don't.
The Bengals
they will.
The Bengals will at best go 500 until Joe Burrow returns. I mean, it's not really an issue. Yeah. Really, the Steelers' issue is themselves.
Yes.
The Steelers need to fix themselves to be able to win the division.
I think you're right, but their issue is when they play against teams that have great offenses. And in this case, you're going against 2 great offensive wide receivers. Right. That's why, my turn to talk about Joe Burrow. That's why Joe Burrow is a damn bum, because anybody can throw for 350 yards on this team when you got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. It doesn't matter who's throwing the ball. You could bring Ben Roethlisberger out of retirement. He would throw for 450 yards against the Steelers. That's the thing. Their offensive weapons are just so great. It doesn't matter who's slinging the ball to them. And Joe Flacco proved that tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that Joe Burrow is a bum. And for those of you new to the show, Steve thinks Joe Burrow is a bum. But I think he actually thinks Joe Burrow really is a bum.
Well, that's because if Joe Flacco can do it,
and
why would you pay that guy $35 million a year when you can pay Joe Flacco $2 million and he can do the same damn thing? And all you have to do is go out and get a couple defensive players. Then they might win a Super Bowl. But instead, let them hog that money. I don't care. It's fine with me.
Hey, listen, I'm going to bring something up here real quick that HJ said last show, this past Monday.
Boy, I don't know about that.
I still had the ticker set up for it. This is what I bet we win the next game. I don't know about that either, but
I don't know.
Remember this from Monday's show. HJ said the chance of playoffs of the Steelers 76%, the Bengals 8%. Why should we worry about this game? Those were his words exactly.
Yeah, and you know what? And you know what I said right after that? We should worry because we're not worried.
That's true.
That's exactly right.
Yes, you did.
And I actually picked the Steelers to lose this game, but I don't want to gloat over a Steelers loss.
And by the way,
was the last thing I wanted.
By the way, Amy said that the announcer said this, but I didn't hear it. Is it true? Has Tomlin never won a Thursday night game?
Yeah, they said that at the beginning. Right? He's 0-6 on Thursday night games in the division.
Now he's 0. Now he's
0-7.
Now he's 0-7.
You just don't want a Thursday night division game.
He probably has won a Thursday night game, but not in the division.
Gotcha. Yeah.
All right, let's move on real quick here to the worst part of the loss. Let's do that.
Blame balls.
Yes.
Who gets your blame ball?
Absolute worst part of the loss.
Oh boy. It has to be the 2 or 3 Jamar Chase catches on that last drive down the field. I just don't understand how you can leave it so open. So I'm going to give my game ball to the defensive coordinator for having such a shitty scheme when all you had to do was stop them 4 times in a row.
Chris Iyer says Flacco's 13-yard run or Noah Fant catching a TD. Grant Schwabini, what's the worst part of the loss for you?
The worst part of the loss, honestly, it's just the defense. I mean, and look, I'm not going to say that this defense is an absolute disaster. It's easy to say that right after the game. There is a lot of talent on the defense, and maybe over the course of the season, they will pull something together. But still, I mean, I just feel like, come on, like, you know, it's like they're playing games with our head. I mean, okay, yeah, there's nobody on Cleveland. We know that. But, you know, they looked pretty darn good last week.
Right.
You know, and then they come out this week and look, I'm sorry. Look, Joe Flacco, it's not like he's a bad quarterback or anything, but isn't he also 40 years old? I mean,
yes.
Look, I don't recall these other stops that Joe Flacco made where he was setting the world on fire. I mean, he was doing so well in Cleveland, they said, see ya after a couple games. So, you know, look, I mean, you got to be able to stop Joe Flacco, even if the receivers are great. I mean, come on. You know, there was no pass rush. So, you know, I'm disappointed in the defense. I'm still willing to give them time to grow and figure out an identity and come together. But I mean, God, they were bad.
Yeah, I think the worst part of this for me was you can combine the defense with the fact that Joe Flacco just pulled into town a few days ago, and now he's played 2 games, but he basically butchered the Steelers defense. Now, Joe Flacco's experienced. He's won a Super Bowl. He was Super Bowl MVP. He's like a gunslinger now. He's like Aaron Rodgers. If you think about it, he's basically the same age, and he's been around the league and been there, done that. Aaron Rodgers been around the league, won the Super Bowl victory. I mean, we were kind of playing the same guy. And a couple times when I was looking at the screen and they would show Rodgers on the bench and then they would show Flacco, and I'd be like, this is bizarro world. I'm sitting here hoping that I'm going to watch the Pittsburgh Steelers win a game with a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers and go to the playoffs. I mean, really, here's the worst part of the loss for me. It's that Mike Tomlin is still the coach of this team. Honestly, I mean, you look at this team and you say there is talent on the team, but a lot of the talent right now is talent they had to go get and talent that is over the hill. Okay, Darius Slay, Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, over the hill, just like we picked up Adrian Peterson last year. or the year before, whatever it was.
Patrick Peterson.
Not Adrian Peterson.
Not Adrian Peterson.
They would have if he was available, though.
I always flip those names.
Yeah,
let me finish my rant here.
I will not let you finish. No, go ahead. All right, go ahead.
You got Jalen Ramsey, who still has some of those ball hawk skills, but he seems to kind of give up that big play. Jamar Chase schooled him tonight. Taught him how not to play cornerback.
And Jamar Chase schools
that
everybody,
a lot.
though.
Yeah,
he does that to everybody. But
we got to get Feel the Steel in here. Feel the Steel, what's up?
Feel the Steel.
Another game. Thanks for being here. And before we give our final thoughts and wrap it up, because it's getting late, it's past my bedtime. I want to thank you guys if you're watching us on YouTube right now. We got about almost 30 people watching us there, which is a record for us, believe it or not, even with as charming as we are. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Where? We got 58 people watching.
Hit the subscribe button. Yeah, but if you hit the little I button, Schwaber, it'll divide it up and show you who's where. Okay.
Oh, that's
I have to teach you this stuff on air. Anyway,
stop being a drag.
Hit that subscribe button on YouTube at the Sports Porch Podcast and click notifications. Every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we come to you with Black and Gold Sports. We talk Steelers, Penguins, Pirates. Once in a while, we'll talk about Pitt, but really, we don't like to. Okay.
How the Penguinos doing tonight, Steve?
It's tied up in the third. They just started the third period. So,
and one other thing,
I'll let you know in about 27 minutes.
If you're a pure Black and Gold fan and you're going to be watching that, or you're watching that Pens game right now, after the Pens game, this guy right over here, Hockey Jesus, he's going to be on. He's going to be doing his, what are we calling it? Hockey Jesus, his sermon, right?
My sermons, post-game sermons.
Yeah. Hockey Jesus preaches on the podcast after every single Penguins game all year long. And this year he promised on these West Coast trips he would do it after those games, even if it was 2 a.m. So far, we're a few games in. So far, he's hanging in there.
Let's see what Tomlin's saying.
I mean, you
Tough,
guys,
hard-fought game.
Yeah,
I got to give credit to those guys. Did what was required to the win.
We got to work
a few more plays.
We got to work on the collective.
Yeah.
From an analysis perspective, I just thought,
people are watching it. We don't have to repeat it.
Allowed them to run the ball too much.
Mark Lee
Second
says
half, we allowed them to pass the ball too much.
Onos Tecmo says, the calling card of the Steelers was drafting well and developing talent.
The trajectory was we were fighting an uphill battle. There's a good one.
Hired guns. I'm gonna have to get rid of him.
What we need to do is we need to run toward the challenge, not away from the challenge.
Yeah. They fought their tail off, man.
Yeah.
They were certainly deserving of the win. Oh my God.
All right.
Thank you for turning him off, NBC or Prime Vision.
Yeah. At this point right now,
boy.
This doesn't look, obviously things don't look good. Next week could change things. The week after could change things. But like I was saying before Steve decided to go off on the Tomlin press conference.
That was entertaining, though. You have
the worst part of the loss for me.
You have no right to take him off.
The worst part of the loss for me is that Mike Tomlin is still the head coach.
You've said that already.
We need to move on. Yeah, we absolutely need to move on. So
very appreciative. Right, Feel the Steel.
Yeah.
You've heard him before.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've heard him. We've all heard him.
All right, guys. Well, listen, HJ is going to go watch that Pens game, and then he's going to be on the podcast.
Now. I can do two things.
Exactly. He's going to be on the podcast after that game. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and the notifications so you know when we're live. And we are live every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We're currently live on Facebook, YouTube, X. We're going to migrate everything to YouTube over the coming weeks, but we really appreciate you being here. And you can grab the podcast anytime on Spotify, the iHeartRadio app, or Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you get your podcasts, because we drop it as soon as we're done. I'm actually going to drop that as soon as we're done here as well, so it's in a podcast. But listen, guys, we're going to see you Monday. We're going to catch up. We have NFL predictions. We're going to be talking Steelers again. Of course, there's going to be fallout through the rest of the week and into the weekend. We'll talk other NFL stuff, and we're going to talk about the Penguins. And we're also going to talk about a new Sports Porch shop that I think everybody's going to love. I got some of that swag on right here, right now, right there. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Hey, Chris, everybody. Chris, this is a really good question for the Porch on Monday.
All right.
Yeah.
Who would you want to be the head coach? I say we tackle that on Monday.
We should tackle that on Monday.
We'll tackle that on Monday.
Anyone?
Back at 7 p.m.
Anyone at all. All right, everybody.
All right.
Steelers lost in Cincinnati, but for the Grand Schwab beanie, for Hockey Jesus, I'm your technical director. This is the Sports Black and Gold. We'll see you Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Drop us a line in the meantime. I am out. Jablonsk.